Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this latest edition of the Milford Informer. I am your host, Tim Coet. It does not get much better than this if you're a sports fan in Milford. The MIAA tournament for baseball and softball kick off today, and the much-anticipated start of the Legion baseball season is just over a week away. We have details on all things sports on the show tonight, and we have an update on the principal job at Milford High School as well. Let's get to the details on those stories and more as we present this week's Top Stories Rundown. Tonight, we'll take a quick look back at this Monday's Memorial Day ceremonies held over at Draper Park. Also tonight, we'll tell you who was chosen as the new Milford High School principal, and we'll replay some of their comments from last week's Principal Open Forum. And later in sports, we'll have a special softball playoff preview, and we'll also get you ready for Legion baseball season with a look at the schedule and team roster. This past Monday was Memorial Day. Once again, the town of Milford paid tribute to the sacrifice of servicemen and women with a parade followed by a ceremony held at Draper Park. Let's take a look at a few highlights from the Memorial Day events.
As I thought about this Memorial Day and what I might talk to folks about, I was reminded of an email that my mother-in-law sent to my wife, and what it did was documented the top 15 cemeteries in Europe that contain American soldiers, and the list is very impressive. France, Belgium, Germany, Italy, over 104,000 Americans are buried in those cemeteries. And when you think about that number, it's almost astronomical to realize that each one is a son, a daughter, a mother, a father, and the sacrifice that they gave to go there, as well as their loved ones at home, knowing that their soldiers would never return to this country. And it led me to believe or think about, I guess, the influence that our armed forces, that our country has had on democracy in this world, which is very, very impressive. And then I brought it back locally, really personally, to see what Memorial Day stands for me. I think all of us today really need to draw upon our personal experiences, family, loved ones.
All I knew about my father was he left high school at 17 to go to Vietnam. He never talked about it. Well, on a family vacation, we stopped in Washington, D.C., spent a few days there. That was the first time that I ever saw, and my father ever saw, the Vietnam War Memorial. Feverishly looking for names, touching the names. I'm a little kid. For a son to see his father weep at names bothered me a lot. I remember asking my mother, "Dad isn't a crier, he's a tough guy." She explained to me that some of his friends that he joined with weren't as fortunate. They didn't come back. Some, he knew that. The even harder part was finding names of people he didn't know what their fate was. There was no Facebook, there was no social media, there was no Google. But in that single instance, in one trip of a couple of hours while spending a few days in DC, I personally learned as a child how important it is to remember.
Milford High School officially has a new principal. After the 3 finalists participated in a parent and community forum last week, the school made the announcement on Wednesday that Mr. Josh Ottlin has been selected to succeed Carolyn Banach as the next MHS principal. Let's listen into some of what Mr. Ottlin had to say at last week's open forum regarding his experience and background.
My name is Josh Ottlin. As Principal Banach was saying, I currently work up at Hudson High School. I've been there since 2001. I worked as a classroom teacher for 8 years, and I've worked as an assistant principal for 8 years. I love working in public education. I have done so since the fall when I graduated from Middlebury College. I worked for 1 year at Longmeadow High School in Western Mass, and then I came back here, and I've been in Hudson ever since. I honestly believe that there are few things as important as our public schools, and I feel very privileged to work to make our public schools the best they can be. I'm passionate about it, and I'm ready to work very, very hard in this community to help make this school the very best it can be. I want to share with you sort of 3 reasons why I want to be here. I want to be here because this is a school and a community to which I can make the commitment. The principal's job, as Ms. Banach knows, is a big job. And as an assistant principal for 8 years, I feel like I come into this with my eyes wide open. It is a huge commitment and responsibility to be a principal. It takes a tremendous amount of time and energy. I am married. I have 3 young children. I want to stay married. I want to be a good father. And to be able to be a good principal and a good husband and a good father is hard to do. And I think the only way you can do it is when you live close to the school. And I live less than 2 miles from this school. And that gives me confidence that while there will be some sacrifices for my family, there's no doubt about that, that I can make the commitment to you to put in the time and the energy required to be the principal that this school deserves. I graduated from this school. My wife graduated from this school. Our family's all here. I'm not going anywhere. And so not only can I commit to putting in the hours, I can commit to putting in the years. Building positive change in schools does not happen overnight. This is a long haul game, and I'm ready to make the commitment to play the long game. And I feel like I can look in that and say that because my family's all here, and I'm not going anywhere, and I live less than 2 miles from this school. The second and third reasons why I want to be here is that this community is very compelling for a number of reasons that I want to share with you, and this school is very compelling to me for a number of reasons I want to share with you. Let me start with the community. Milford is one of a handful of communities that is truly diverse. So typically when we talk about, I think the label diversity is often misapplied to refer to schools that are actually quite homogeneous. Diversity is often applied to schools that have high concentrations of low-income, non-white students. Well, but they're in fact not very diverse schools. They're quite homogeneous. Milford is a truly diverse community, and this is a truly diverse school. And as someone who is committed to this project of public education, I want this school to be great because I live here, but I also want this school to be great because this country needs diverse high schools to be models of excellence. And the third reason is I want to be here is because I think that Milford is well on its way to becoming one of these diverse schools that is a model of excellence. So Milford has racked up a number of what I consider to be very distinctive gains and achievements in recent years. And by being here in this building over the course of the day and meeting students and teachers and administrators, I am convinced that there is some excellent work going on here in Milford and that the foundation is in place and the positive momentum is in place to continue this school's progression that is already on to becoming truly exemplary. And so for those 3 reasons, I want to be here and I want to do this.
In a press release sent out by the school on Wednesday, Superintendent Dr. Kevin McIntyre had this to say about the hiring of Josh Ottlin. I am excited to appoint Josh Otlin as the next principal of Milford High School, as he brings considerable experience from his work in Hudson as an administrator and teacher, and his instructional leadership and analytical ability is unmatched. He is well prepared to lead Milford High School and to support the future success of all students. School Committee Chairman Joe Marias also weighed in on the hiring, saying, "It became clear to me after receiving feedback from students, faculty, administrators, and members of the community who were all represented throughout the selection process that they desired a dynamic leader who possesses strong interpersonal skills, communicates well, uses data to make informed decisions, and is focused on student achievement and quality instruction. I believe Mr. Otlin has the vision and collaborative nature to move our high school forward." If you were following along with Milford TV on social media this week, you found out exactly where Milford baseball and softball ended up in their respective MIAA tournament brackets. The Scarlet Hawks baseball team earned the number 13 seed in the Division II South bracket. That set up an opening round showdown of the first and second place teams in the Davenport division, with Milford traveling to Stoughton to take on the number 4 seeded Black Knights. That game got underway earlier this afternoon. The softball team also began their playoff run earlier today. As expected, the Lady Hawks earned the number 2 seed in the Division I South bracket. Milford received a bye through Thursday's preliminary round, and as they waited to find out who their first-round opponent would be, I traveled over to the softball field to talk to the team about their stellar regular season and get their thoughts and expectations heading into the playoffs. Here's an 0-2 pitch, and that ball is swung on and missed. That will end this softball game this afternoon. Milford is able to claim their 17th consecutive victory. And now this ball chopped on the ground to short. Tommaso has it. She fires to Kelly Reichert at first, and that out will bring an end to this bottom of the 5th inning. It will be a mercy rule victory for the Lady Scarlet Hawks. They seal the deal on their 18th consecutive victory of the season. Another remarkable regular season is in the books for the Lady Hawks softball team. After suffering a disappointing loss on opening day against Taunton, the girls dominated the competition the rest of the way, ending the year on a 19-game winning streak. As the team now prepares for postseason play, they took a moment to reflect on their impressive regular season achievement.
It was really great to just go through the season. We had one loss at the beginning of the season, but since then we've been on a roll, and it's definitely a great feeling. Being 19-1 and having the girls, everyone just coming up, stepping up at every game.
I think that the regular season flew by, but I think we did so great all year. We were together every single game. We were on the same page all year. Everyone was looking towards like the next, towards the next game, but we were all ready to go every day that we came to the field. So I think that it really helped us this year.
It's indescribable. I mean, I've never been on a high school team this successful. I know every year we've had a great team, but this year there's something special about this team for sure.
They came every day with the right attitude at practice and worked to get better. And it showed obviously from game one we needed to improve off that Taunton loss. We knew that's not who we were. The girls made it a purpose over the next 19 games to take it one at a time and just really show that that's not the type of team they were, and they weren't going to go down without a fight. Obviously, after game one, it's very early, but they came with a purpose every day, and it showed for the rest of the season.
Coach DeVito credits a strong sense of team unity as one of the keys to the girls' success.
They're a pretty tight-knit group. I think it could be tough when you get into the dog days of the season, into May. Over the last couple of years, we've seen with our teams especially, we've had a little bit of a rough patch, whether it's, 1 or 2 losses there in the middle. And, it's real easy to get caught up with everything that's going on. We've had some girls that have had some tremendous seasons, all-state type seasons, all-world type seasons, if you really think about it. Our lineup 1 through 9 has been outstanding. And, our seniors have done a tremendous job of being leaders on and off the field. I can't say enough about what it is that they have done for us, not just this year, but over the last 4 years. This will be the first 4-year class that I've seen through. And, that's kind of all I've known are these 3 seniors being at practice every day and being in the lineup every day or in the circle, in the outfield, at third base. They've been a very special group. personally, it's going to be tough to see them go and tough to replace them with their skill, but their leadership and just the way that they approach every single day, they have been an outstanding group of leaders. And, I talk to a lot of coaches and people that I'm close with, and they say the same thing, and I agree 100% that your seniors will carry you. And our seniors have done a tremendous job this year in carrying us. Caitlin DeCap was, I think, third on the team with 22 RBI, and Allie Atherton leads the league with a 1.03 ERA. Maggie Farrell had a tough injury early in the year against Franklin, made a comeback, and she's hitting 500, playing great defense in the outfield. And I could just go right down the list of all of our girls. But, like I said, the seniors are a very special group, and, we're going to continue to rely on them heavily going forward.
Milford's trio of senior captains made sure to take the time to savor the 2017 season, knowing it would be their final year to take the field wearing the Milford colors.
It was different, coming to the field every day, everyone's watching you. In years past, you could goof around all the time, but now you want to be a leader for these girls. You want to make sure this team goes far because it is our last year. We wanted to make a run for it, and I think we are. I think we're in a good shape for playoffs.
It feels bittersweet almost. It's the last season. I want to go as far as we possibly can, and it'd be nice if we give it a run.
It definitely felt different. It's like a bittersweet feeling, I think, knowing that this is it. We want to make one good final run. And I'm really happy that we were able to we're still going, but I'm happy that we've had a great regular season.
A 19-win season does not happen by accident. There were key contributions up and down the varsity roster that led to the team's overwhelming success.
I felt very confident going up to the plate. I knew what I had to do, and I did it.
It honestly felt really great knowing that no matter who was up, there wasn't really a weak spot in our lineup. Every single hitter up at bat was definitely a strong hitter. There was never a moment that we thought that, this is going to be an out, let's get ready to go on the field. It's never, you're always ready to go next because you never know what's going to happen.
There are a bunch of our girls that we have off days and they don't have off days. With Emily and Jess, the top of our lineup and their averages, and Emily's had a tremendous year. Jess has had a great year. I mentioned our pitchers early in the year. Allie 1.03 and Kelly Reichert's 1.21. She's going to get overlooked at 50 innings at a 1.21 ERA, and that's incredible. If you look at our lineup, I think there are something like 7 girls that are hitting 400 or better, and that's, again, incredible to think that.
Milford earned the best seeding they've had in the playoffs since their last state championship win in 2013. That seeding will allow them to watch the likes of Silver Lake, King Philip, Taunton, and Bishop Feehan duke it out on the opposite side of the D1 South bracket.
I think the number 2 seed is amazing. It's great. We played so well this year. I think that we really deserve it. We really worked for it. But we can't, I think the bracket played out well, the spot that we are in, but we still need to play to the top of our caliber every day. We can't look down. If we're playing a 19 seed, we can't think about them as a 19 seed. We should think about them as the 1 seed. We need to be ready to go no matter who we're playing all the time.
We shouldn't take anything for granted, I know every team that we're going to face is going to be a challenge for us. And even though the teams we usually play in the playoffs are not on our side, we're going to see them. No matter what, I hope so.
It really doesn't matter. Once you get into the playoffs, everyone's 0-0. They're 0-0. So if you start looking ahead saying, that bracket's tougher than this side, and this opponent, they were 13-7, it really doesn't matter. It's who comes to play that day and who comes with confidence and not looking ahead and focusing on the here and now, and that's what our plan is come Friday afternoon.
As the team makes their final preparations before the postseason begins, there is plenty of confidence from the coaches down to the players that this group is capable of a deep and successful tournament run.
I think that we, as long as we all stick together and work and act like a team, then that's one thing that really needs to happen for us to be successful in the playoffs.
I think that we should just stay focused, as long as, if one person gets down, I know for sure someone else is going to pick them up right away. That's just the type of team we have this year. And it's really important to, not take things for granted. When you get the opportunity, thrive.
We're a very tough out. And that's one thing that we're going to push is no matter what happens in these playoffs, 1 through 9, we're going to give hopefully fits, whether it's speed on the bases, power at the plate, being able to move girls over, whatever the case may be. I think our team is well versed and has the ability to do everything at the plate.
With both softball and baseball games taking place today, we are unable to provide a recap of the games on this week's show. What I can tell you is Milford TV was present at both playoff games. If you were following along with us on social media earlier today, you saw that we were able to provide live streaming coverage of the softball game. We'll have both games available for viewing on the educational channel and on YouTube by early next week. We also encourage everyone to continue to follow closely with us on Twitter for final score updates and information on coverage of both teams as the playoffs continue. Meanwhile, as we keep a close eye on the high school playoffs, we're also preparing for coverage of a brand new season of Milford Legion Baseball. With the start of the new season quickly approaching, we put together all of the information you need to know heading into what is sure to be a big year for Post 59. Milford Post 59 is just days away from kicking off their 2017 regular season. 2017 promises to be a memorable year for Milford fans, as Pheno Field will play host to the Massachusetts Legion State Tournament. With the tournament playing out at Pheno Field, that guarantees Post 59 will be one of the 8 teams vying for statewide bragging rights and a trip to the Northeast Regionals. Despite having a secure bid to the state tourney, Milford is ready to tackle their 2017 regular season schedule head-on. Here is a look at how the regular season schedule will unfold for Post 59. The season is set to begin on Sunday, June 11th, where Milford will once again open the season in Leominster with a 3 o'clock game against Post 151. Milford's first home game takes place on Wednesday, June 14th, as the team welcomes friendly rival Wachusett to Pheno Field. Week 1 of the Legion season wraps up with a pre-scheduled doubleheader. Milford travels to Sturbridge for breakfast baseball at 11 a.m. and will then travel to Northborough to take on Post 234 at 4:30 p.m. Week 2 features a pair of premier matchups for Post 59. Milford travels to Shrewsbury to take on the defending zone and state champs on June 21st. Then on Friday, June 23rd, the rivalry is renewed as Northbridge comes to town for a primetime showdown. On June 24th, Milford will participate in a day at Holy Cross. Zone 4 teams will participate in a full slate of games on the beautiful Holy Cross Field in Worcester. Milford's game will take place at 3:15 at Holy Cross against Wachusett. Milford will enjoy a 3-game homestand during Week 3, with games at Pheno on June 28th through the 30th against Sturbridge, Shrewsbury, and Northborough, respectively. Milford will then look to break a 6-year losing streak at Northbridge Middle School as they travel to take on their rivals Northbridge for the second time on the season on July 1st. Post 59 will close out their 24-game regular season with 4 out of their last 5 at Pheno. That stretch includes the team's annual 4th of July morning game against Framingham and tough matchups against Leominster, Eastside, and Grafton Hill. As for the team itself, the official 2017 roster was recently released. The new Post 59 will truly be a new team, with 10 of the 18 players donning the navy and yellow for the first time. The roster features 4 3-year veterans in Milford's Aiden Wild, Bellingham's Michael Farrell, Medway's Tyler Monahan, and Nipmuc grad Kyle Nocera. Milford natives on the roster include Wild along with Alex Masick, Joe Sanchioni, and newcomers Nate Irwin and Tyler Almeida. A total of 7 high schools and 3 colleges will be represented on the Legion roster this season. Coming up on June 10th, the Milford High School Parents for Music will once again be holding a bottle and can drive. Bring your recyclable cans and bottles to the Redemption Center at 161 East Main Street on Saturday, June 10th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. to be part of the fundraising effort. All proceeds from the drive will go toward Milford High School's music program. Again, the bottle and can drive will take place on June 10th at 161 East Main Street from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Also on June 10th, the Milford Youth Center and the JAG Youth Council will be holding the 7th annual Dressed Up Not Messed Up fashion show. The core message of the fashion show surrounds making good decisions when it comes to the use of drugs and alcohol. The fashion show is set to take place on Saturday, June 10th, over at the Youth Center from 6 to 8 p.m. For more information on this or other Youth Center events, just head over to their website, milfordyouthcenter.net. And coming up in June, the Massachusetts Walking Tour will be presenting Easy Walks in the Blackstone Valley. The series features free concerts and hikes across the Blackstone Valley region. Easy Walks in the Blackstone Valley will take place from June 15th through the 24th, with concerts taking place from 6 to 8 p.m. For all of the details on the Massachusetts Walking Tour, you can visit their website, masswalkingtour.org. Milford TV has once again been hard at work covering a wide range of high school events as the 2016-17 academic year comes to a close. Over the last few weeks, we've had our cameras rolling at the High School Music Awards, the Dick Corbin Sports Awards, Senior Awards Night, the Senior Performance Night, and we will have a crew on hand to cover this weekend's graduation ceremonies. We also have been covering several middle school concerts as well. You can check out all of those school events running on the Educational Channel, and as always, you can find all of our programming on our YouTube channel, My Milford TV. Next week on The Informer, we are sure to be loaded with highlights and interviews from the MIAA tournament, so be sure to check in with us next Friday for the latest baseball and softball news. Until then, from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.